Hey everybody, it's Ariane Miller, the Millennial Mindsetter, and I'm back. Today I want to discuss with you guys how to know when you are ready to buy a house. You won't know, first things first, unless you make a plan. Buying a house is not something you just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm gonna buy a house today. No, it takes time, it takes patience, and it takes a plan. Time, patience, and a plan, and you will be able to be a homeowner. First things first, you have to ask yourself, do I have the credit? If you have 640 or higher, you're in the game. You are in the game if you have a 640 credit score. So if you have that, check that off your list. Next, do you have 2 years of work history? And I would like to bust some myths here. It doesn't have to be 2 years at the same job. It doesn't even necessarily, with some lenders, have to be 2 years in the same field. It doesn't even have to be like 2 years of consecutive work history. Like if you have like 6 month gap and it's explainable and for good reason, you can buy you a house. So these are things that are really important to know. But if you have 2 years of work history and you meet like the basic standards that I just described, check that off your list. So that's two things. You need your 640 credit score. You need your 2 years of work history. Doesn't have to be consecutive. Doesn't have to be the same job. Doesn't even have to be the same field. But you need to have worked for 2 years and 2 years of income tax. Do you have 2 years of income tax? That shows you've made money. So many times, guys, we write off all of our expenses. And when we do this, it looks as though we do this to avoid tax liability, and that's fine. But when we do this, it looks as though you broke. It looks as though you ain't made no money. And when the bank see this, they say, she made $12,000 last year. I can't lend her money to buy a house. That's not even sustainable income. $12,000 is like $1,000 a month. No one can live off of that. Not here in California. Anyhow, so you need your 2 years of taxes, and they need to say that you've made some money. My self-employed people, that goes for you too. So that's that. And you need your two months of bank statements. And here's the thing, guys. No NSF fees, no late fees, no nothing weird. 2 years of solid, 2 months of solid bank statements. And what I want you guys to know too is don't deposit, the funds must be seasoned. What this means, people always say, what does that mean? Don't go to the bank and deposit any large amount of cash or anything weird like that. If so, you will need to have the paper trail of all paper trails because your lender is going to ask you for it, and that's just part of the process. But if you do have the paper trail, then cool. And if you don't do that. That's bad. It's all bad. So don't do those things. And yes. So far we have your credit, we have your job history, we have your taxes and your bank statements. Last thing that you need to know or you need to have, and you'll know that you're ready to buy a house is money. You need you some money. There's so many programs out there. There's down payment assistance. There's this, that, and the third that are there to help you and supplement. But you still need some money, and that's period. You need some money. There's gonna be fees that you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay for an appraisal. That's about $500. You're gonna have to pay for home inspections. That's about $500. You're gonna have to pay for whatever else may come up. It could be anything. It could literally be anything. But you're gonna have to pay for these things, and you need to be prepared. You're gonna have to pay for your down payment. Typically, people believe that you need 20% of the house to buy a house, but you don't. You need 3.5%, and you can get you in a house. Sometimes even 3%. And although there's down payment assistance programs, those are not free. Those come with, they're not free. I'll just leave it at that. But with that being said, when you get ready to buy a house, make sure you got you some money. And I think with those, those 5 things can get you in a house. You need 640 credit score. You need work history, 2 years. You need 2 years of taxes, you need 2 months of bank statements, and you need you some money. If you have those things, you, my friend, can get a house. So feel free to reach out to me if you meet all of that criteria and it never crossed your mind. So many times I hear people say, you know what, I don't believe I deserve to buy a house. I don't feel like, you know, I don't feel worthy, or I never saw my parents do it, or there's so many reasons um, as to why we're not homeowners. We just don't know the way. I'm here to help you find the way. So if it has crossed your mind, or if you meet those criteria, feel free to reach out to me. Or if you want to meet that criteria, and you feel as though there's a service that I offer that can help you, feel free to reach out to me and we will make it happen. With that being said, I'm out. Follow me for more information. Go to my Instagram at re2millie. Follow, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. I'm gone.